Well, good day, viewers, and welcome back to another banger episode of In the Mix. This one is probably going to be one of my favorite episodes. It's Easter weekend. We are all very excited for that, and we're looking forward to having a great weekend. With me in studio is my right-hand man, my new right-hand man. You guys are probably wondering, here's a new right-hand man. Where's the old one? The old one will be back soon also, so don't worry about that. But for this episode, I am joined by none other than Ashwyn Mberi. Ashwyn, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm fantastic, Brian. In the mix. Best place to be on a Friday, man.
Starting off with Arsenal.
Yes.
The mood is set. You have the shirt on.
Oh, yes.
Champions League semi-finals.
Oh, say it again, Brian. Say it again.
You guys might just,
we might just do it.
You might just
do it.
How do you feel about the performance all in all? The fact that you guys are in the semis when last?
Well, I feel good about being in the semis, but I feel better about how we got there. Just Real Madrid, home and away. Not many teams can say that they've managed to establish that. They were talking about Ramantanda or whatever it is in the second leg, straight into the Bernabeu, but it ended with the Saka shush and the Martinelli goal. And I feel good about Arsenal. I feel like Madrid obviously is a team of superb talent, superb collective of individuals, but Arsenal is a superb team, and usually that will trump a superb collective of individuals.
I think we needed Ashwyn in studio. Like I said, he's my right-hand man for this episode. Our guest, please sit tight, guys. We'll introduce you now. We're just trying to get you guys into the mood, into the feel before we do talk about that, man. Since our favorite man when it comes to food is not with us today, I'm going to do us the honors. We have some cross buns for this lovely episode. Patricia, I would just like to say thank you so much for sorting us out. I'm not happy with the one that has jam on because I'm not really the biggest fan of jam. There's a lot of jam on mine. I see there's butter. Okay, Patricia, I see how you're working. Other people have butter on this. I think it's just mine, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. As for now, Ashwyn, before we introduce our guest, I just need you to tell us, In the Mix Africa.
Oh, yeah.
What are we talking about? What's the feel with that? What are we doing there?
I mean, first things first is that it is still in the mix. It definitely is still in the mix. But we're going beyond borders to focus on African stories, not just Namibia, South Africa, Zimbabwe. We're talking about Premier League players with African descent and just bringing that African narrative into the mix, so to speak, and just making sure that we all stay informed on what's happening with our continent. I mean, AFCON is this year, Brian.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we've got a lot to build up to. If I'm not mistaken, we're looking at 247 days from today until AFCON comes through on the 21st of December. So In the Mix Africa is part of that build-up, part of reminding everybody that Africa has never really had borders. We've always been interconnected, and that's why the show is going to be here.
Well, guys, you'll definitely be seeing more of Ashwyn Mberi on this show. And for the moment we've all been waiting for, we have a guest in our studio who's not the biggest fan of Arsenal. I mean, him and Ashwyn haven't been seeing eye to eye when it comes to features of Arsenal. But for the first time, I can actually say these guys are on the same page when it comes to football. We are joined by a familiar face that you guys know as Jevon Wilson, who is with us today in studio. Jevon, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing pretty well, and then congratulations to all Arsenal fans, spectators. I don't want to be too boastful, but I did predict Arsenal to beat Real Madrid in both fixtures.
You did.
So if anybody did back them, make some money, you can always reach me on my number. It's 081. So yeah, I used to call you guys the butlers, but let's see. It's still a long way to go. You have 3 games to win to win the Champions League. I still, as I said in the beginning, I still feel Inter Milan are the dark horses, and there's a team that have a lot to offer still.
I have to say, Jevon, you and I shared the same prediction of Arsenal, and we both seem to have butter on our cross buns. I don't know if that's a plan by Paddy or a message to Brian, but it's nice to be on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should have a bite there and see what it's all about.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Take a bite. Thank you, Patricia, and happy Easter to everyone out there.
Viewers, like I said, this episode, you guys are just going to have to put on your seatbelt, sit tight, because there's a lot we have to talk about. For now, we'll be going for a short break, and then we'll be bringing you the exciting lineup of sports happening this weekend. Please stay tuned.
Life is about the journeys we take, the roads we choose, and the adventures that shape us. Designed for those who seek more space, more adventure, more style. With cutting-edge technology and unparalleled comfort, every drive is an adventure waiting to happen. Choose adventure. Choose the jet tour dashing. The new jet tour dashing. Drive your future.
So viewers, it's Easter weekend, but that doesn't mean there's no sports over the weekends. So right now we'll have a look at the fixtures that are scheduled to take place this weekend, and there's a lot going on. Ashwyn, I would like to start off with the Nedbank Newspaper Cup. That's happening this weekend in the Kunene region.
Definitely. It's got some good sponsorship behind it, and of course, it's the Newspaper Cup. It carries a lot of legacy. That's one thing that you always want to be able to hold on to, because then people can look back, and see the journey of the cup, but of course, see themselves in the future of the tournament.
And then we can also look at a few other fixtures that are scheduled for this weekend, starting off with Friday. I mean, we have hockey at Windhoek High School. We know that the Africa Cup is taking place. This is an opportunity for our youngsters to try and get into those 3 positions that are left for African teams to qualify for the Under-21 Hockey World Cup that's scheduled to take place later this year. And then we also have some football games in the Nedbank Newspaper Cup, of course. That's football and netball games there. And then looking at Saturday, there's some road running anyway in Namibia. I don't think this weekend is not for road running. This weekend we're at home, we are eating cross buns. It's just those vibes. We're not in these running things, but I can't speak for everyone. We also have some boxing action, international boxing, of course. And then to close it off, there's some motorsport Formula 1 on Sunday for the lovers of Formula 1. We definitely do know that we have 2 Namibians that are taking part in the Rock Island Epic. That's taking part in Croatia. So it's a whole 5-day on the rocks racing on bikes. The CEO of Holland is going to be there. So that's an exciting one.
That's cool. That's
Well,
cool.
that's just some of the few things that we can look forward to. And then before we do dive into anything else, I'd just like to show you guys the log. So you guys see how the log looks like in the Debmarine Premiership before we focus on the European football and the Sakas and the Declan Rices, those guys. But yeah, FC Ongos sitting on top of the table, Comas Nampol in second, African Stars in third. We all know that African Stars has been dominating the Debmarine Premiership for a couple of seasons now, but it looks like things are shaping up to be a little bit different with the likes of FC Ongos, Comas Nampol, all pulling together and getting the socks up. Jevon, thoughts on the log before this Easter break?
No, as you said, it's brilliant to see an open league for once. Not also mentioning young African, they're doing I think they're having a decent season out there. Obviously, as JSB, we are proud to sponsor Julinho Athletic.
Yes.
Not in the top half of the log, but hopefully we can still pull a couple of results together there. Too many draws for our liking that we're getting. So yeah, still a lot to offer, still a lot of games left. So yeah, it's an exciting season. I think the football in itself has been exciting as well. I think Namibian football now is growing. I think we have a lot to look forward to, especially with the new ministry coming in. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
And Ashwyn, if I ask you your thoughts on the log?
Well, with me, something that's just glaring to me is just how important it is to have some structural consistency, and that's what I credit FC Ongos being at the top for. Just they really set up a solid system, and we have to give them credit to be competing at this level for a relatively new team. Of course, plenty of financial backing as well behind that, but that's what's needed. Set up the systems, set up the structure, and your team will flourish.
And the team will flourish. Viewers, there you have it. Those are just the thoughts of the guys on the Debmarine Premiership while we go for this interesting break. Speaking of tournaments this weekend, there are a lot of them happening. Starting off with my hometown, we have a tournament happening in Grootfontein where 300,000 will be given back to the community in 5 different sports codes. So to start off with, there's some athletics happening with 200 meters boys and girls aged 16 to 21, 400 meters for women and men aged 22 and up, relay for men and women at the age of 22 and up. That's just some of the sports that you'll be seeing there. And then the prize money, guys. I think this is one of the things that I love seeing when corporates give back to the community. So having a look, the athletics, 42,000, that's the pool, that's the prize money that's available there. For football, there's 50,000, netball, another 30,000, volleyball, 15,000, and an interesting one, tug of war, 10,000 up for grabs. I don't know what it takes for you to have a tug of war team or how your team is allowed to look like, but I think that's easy money if you have big boys on your team. And then we did catch up with the tournament organizer, one of the committee members, Angel Chetukana, and this is what she had to share.
1, 2, 3. Hi there, Grootfontein residents. The Nzombo Financial Services will be giving back 300,000 Namibian dollars to the Grootfontein community for an amazing and exciting Easter Fun Tournament weekend. We'll be having different sport codes such as soccer, netball, volleyball, tug of war, and athletics. Now for athletics, 400 meters and relays, you need to be at the age of 22 and up, and 200 meters, you need to be between the ages of 16 and 21 years old. For soccer, we have 50,000 Namibian dollars, athletics, 42,000 Namibian dollars, netball, 30,000 Namibian dollars, and tug of war, 10,000 Namibian dollars. The registration is free of cost, and the entry is free for everyone, and including those outside Grootfontein. Everyone is welcome to the event. Your presence will make a big difference. See you there.
The tournament, come. English? Yes.
Africans also is present.
He's one of the players that ones who won the tournament.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the tournament?
The coming one or the previous one?
Everything together.
Everything together. It's one.
Oh no, for the coming one, we are ready for it. The previous one, we unlucky. But Dynamos is going to win the tournament.
Nice. 3.
Nzombo Financial Services. While others follow, we lead.
So Ashwyn, that's just one of the tournaments happening in Grootfontein. As you saw with the pools and the money that's being given, 300,000 back to the community.
I mean, look, Brian, it's very essential to always invest in the grassroots. Now, when you're saying grassroots, a lot of people are obviously thinking about, things like youth centers, which are very structurally essential. But getting people excited about sports is a really, really good start. For some people, it wasn't always seeing the professionals. Sometimes it was seeing Sunday football, and that's what it took. I remember, Cole Palmer, he was talking about his father teaching him football, and he said, the guy didn't go past Sunday football, but he still managed to inspire me. And Cole Palmer, an African by descent himself, if you look deep enough. But that's what I'm talking about. It's nice to bring communities together. That's sports' real thing, its ability to connect people. So I think that's fantastic. And it's in your hometown. I think some people are going to be missing you on their tug of war teams, Brian.
I think they would have needed me on those teams, but after that Nedbank 20 kilometers that I did, if you guys didn't see it, I don't think I have the energy for that one. But before we do move on to see how Patricia is going to surprise us in the kitchen, I'm very excited for this one. Let's quickly have a look at how the log looks like. Not the log, but the Nedbank Newspaper Cup draw. These are the groups that we do have. We have 4 groups. In the first group A, we have Harda, Poshikoto, Zambezi, Karas. In group B, we have defending champions Komas, Chwenda, Oshana, Kunene, and Ohangwena. In group C, we have Erongo, Omusati, Eno Kavango East. And then in group D, we have Omaheke, Kavango West, and Chupa. Well, before we do move on, Jevon, thoughts on those teams?
Look, first and foremost, I would like to say, like a nation as small as we are, we're really a sport-loving nation, and we thrive on the international stage. I mean, if you look at, for example, like Peter Shalulile, who's about to break the record in South Africa, you know what I mean? And we have, like as you mentioned earlier on, we have athletes participating over the weekend in Croatia. I mean, it just shows like the love of sport, the Newspaper Cup this weekend, a few other things, the runners, as it's growing now in our country. I would just like to say shout out to all Namibians that are involved in sports, corporates like ourselves as well, to get involved there and to push and to thrive. And I'm really proud to be a Namibian,
Same here, very proud to be a Namibian. Well, viewers, as the moment we've been waiting for to see how the food looks like, let's see what Patricia is cooking up in the kitchen.
Your life could change at any second, but you'll never know until you take the chance. With sports betting, number games, and online casino gambling, JSB is your best bet. Will you be Namibia's next instant millionaire? Place your bets easily online at jsbsports.bet or at any JSB location nationwide. We'll take you to the action anywhere, anytime. JSB, where the next instant millionaires come to play. Strictly no under 18s. JSB supports responsible gambling. Winners know when to stop.
And welcome viewers to my Bri Corner. Of course, it's Patricia here, and I am joined by, some of you might know his face or have seen him around. Welcome to the Bri Corner.
Thank you very much. I'm Katuna Katjimune, the Namibian celebrity barber. Today I'm here to come and pry for you guys and see how we as barbers also do it.
Yeah, okay, so he is multi-talented. Not only does he work in his own barbershop, which is remote, as I understand, he can also braai apparently. So today we're going to test that out as we have some lamb chops on the fire that we'll be braaiing with a very special dressing that we're both going to try out for the first time, so fingers crossed. But before we dig in, I just want to know, when it comes to the braai, what is the number one thing that you would recommend? If someone had to ask you what's on the menu tonight on the braai, what would you put on first?
Boerewors and lamb. You can never go wrong with that.
Okay, we'll have the lamb here. Yeah. So that's a good first step, right? So I just want to know a little bit more about your barbershop. As I understand, it's remote. So it's a solo man. So when did this start? When did the dream become alive?
I started back in 2017. So at first I just used to cut at home. I used to train mostly on my cousins and brothers.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
With anything, you train on family first.
Exactly. So from there was a workshop we went to in Swakopmund where it was an entrepreneurship. That's where I got the idea of being mobile. From there, when I got back from the workshop, I just started. And I would actually get maybe I had I would say 1 or 2 clients a week to now.
Which is not a bad start.
Yeah. To now overbooked. Now the people are begging me.
Well, do you see that growth?
Book an appointment, yeah.
From 2 clients a week to not having enough days in the week to accommodate everyone. Exactly. That is actually really inspirational. Now, you're remote at the moment. But is it safe to ask, are there any plans to have a shop of your own where people can visit, still keeping the remote aspect there? Because I think that's very unique, and a lot of people want a barber that can come to their house instead of them having to leave the comfort of their home. But are there plans to set up a shop for yourself?
Of course. It's in the pipeline as well.
Okay.
So, but I would be the one continuing with the
remote.
Because people like Jevon, I don't think Jevon would want to go to the barber shop because he'd
want you to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's already used to calling me to his house and give him a haircut weekly.
Okay.
So definitely, because there are a lot of people who ask, most of the time when they ask, do you have a barber shop? Where can we come?
Yeah.
Then I always have to give them that. No, guys.
Yeah,
I come to you.
Yeah, my brother and my father, they never allow us as females in the house to walk into a barbershop. They say a barbershop is not a place for a female because we like to gossip in our salons. They say the barbershop, a lot of stuff is being talked about that females should never hear. It's where the men can go and relax. So when the plans, of course, you say it's in the pipeline to have your own shop. Are you planning on just keeping it strictly barbershop, or you want to integrate maybe, I know a lot of barbershops is also for the barbershop, but then they also do the braiding on the side for the females. Are you planning on doing that, or do you just want to strictly stick to what you're doing now?
Definitely, yeah. Even the braiding part, as you mentioned, because there are guys who get
also
braids.
Want that,
yeah,
yes.
There are ladies who cut their hair and also have braids at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that also. And maybe nails.
Okay, yeah, you'll have a one-stop shop for everything to be done. Okay.
You don't need to go to
different places.
Everything is at one.
Okay, so just remind us again, what is the name of your operation?
It's called Go To Your Barber Namibia.
You see, very to the point. Nothing complicated, just go to your barber, or in your case, your barber comes to you.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
Yeah.
So we have a lot more. Brian is probably itching that side to talk more football with Ashwyn and Jevon. So I'm going to let you put our lamb on here so that we can get it to the grill. But viewers, we will be right back. We're just going to get this ready and, yeah, talk more barbershop talk, I guess. You can start.
Adventure doesn't announce itself. It starts with a feeling. It waits quietly, ready for those who seek it. From the moment you start, the journey becomes part of the story. It's not just about the destination. It's the rhythm of the road, the pull of the unknown. Some journeys take you beyond what's visible, toward the promise of something greater. And then it appears. The reason you came. The reason you return. The jet tour dashing. Drive your future.
Okay, gentlemen, you guys saw what we're having in the kitchen. The marinade looks interesting. Some lamb chops. Patricia is out doing a selfie. I think Jesse will be very angry with the fact that he's not on when we're having some lamb chops. But ish, we'll eat for the man and we'll represent him as good as we can. As for Katuna, I would like to know, do you cut your own hair? Because a lot of barbers usually cut their own hair, I've heard, and the haircut looks very dope. So if you cut your hair yourself, I think we need to talk after this. Maybe I get your number from Jevon Wilson because the boy is not looking good for Easter, eh? Yeah, we need to get the Easter haircut in. Just some thoughts. Jevon, I heard he cuts your hair every week. Tell me about that. Maybe he can.
Yeah, so we have an agreement every Saturday.
Okay.
Then he comes over and then he gives me a haircut, and then obviously it's a contract that we have. You know, he's a football guy, so we have a fixed term contract for now.
I think I need to get on one of those contracts as well. Ashwyn.
Yes.
As an Arsenal fan.
As an Arsenal fan.
You've been waiting for this moment, man.
Oh yes, let's get to it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the Champions League chart to just have a look at the journey you guys, how the journey looks like, how it could end up, how it could go. So tell us, what are your thoughts on Arsenal's performance, man? PSV, the highest
scoreline. I mean,
highest scoreline in the Champions League.
7 goals.
7-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was pure dominance. Something that you're realizing from Arsenal is we seem better suited for European football. And that's an observation I also had with regards to facing Real Madrid. Okay. Because who defends Mbappe at France practice? Saliba. You know what I mean? Of course, Gabriel's not there, but whose job is it to defend Rodrigo at Brazil practice? All right, fine. So we're playing in Madrid. Do we have any Spanish people? Well, we've got the coach, we've got Merino, we've got the keeper. So it was more familiar to us than people would have expected it to be. And I'm not going to say that the referees in Europe are better, but they seem to look at us slightly more kindly than the refs in the UK. Thoughts
on Jeff? Let me get your thoughts on the penalty Arsenal almost gave away. The whole controversy behind that before it wasn't given. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, some people said it was the exact same thing between the two incidences. I don't think so. I think the one Asensio clearly held on to him, pulled him, and he fell. The other incident was when Rice just had his arms around him, as any defender would defend his goal, right? And then Mbappe, with his theatrics, you know, threw himself to the ground and apparently got a knee injury, but he was fine right after that. So those are my thoughts there. Obviously, at the occasion, Saka, you know, it's a big occasion at the Santiago Bernabeu, and you're up against Thibaut Courtois, arguably one of the best goalkeepers in Europe or on the planet, and you go and do that. That's, you know, that was a bit cheeky from him, but he made up for it with the goal at the end there.
Wonderful goal at the end.
The goal was also cheeky from Bukayo Ayoyinka Saka. Okay, don't forget the Ayoyinka. Ayoyinka. Listen, the guy is quality. There's been a lot of denial with regards to his talent. Sometimes it's just from rival fans, you know. But for the most part, it's quite easy to see that Bukayo Saka's quality is tangible. Yeah. It is real. Remember in the interviews before the first leg, they were asking him if he could play, if he saw himself at the same standard as people who they consider to be at a higher level like Mbappe and Vinicius. And if I'm to ask you right now, Brian, who was better throughout this entire series? Mbappe or Saka? Vinicius or Saka? Rodrigo or Saka. In fact, I could sum up Arsenal's victory to the simple fact that Real Madrid did not have answers to two people. Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice.
Yes.
They didn't have an answer for it.
Well, I think I have to agree with you on that one. Very underrated player. I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's been doing great, especially for Arsenal and performing. If we have a look at that Champions League draw or the knockouts one more time, just to understand where our thoughts are, I want both of you to give me your prediction on who's lifting that trophy. I mean, 4 teams left, can only be one winner. Starting with Ashwyn, I know what you're going to say, so I think I'll leave your answer out for now.
Okay.
But Jevon Wilson, you got it right with the knockout stages in the quarterfinals. You predicted all 4 teams that went through did go through. So now that we're at the semis.
Yeah, no, most definitely. We need to highlight that. I said Arsenal, you asked me last week, I said Arsenal, PSG, Inter Milan, and Barca will go through.
Yes.
I mean, that's, I mean, even from my standards, I would say that's outstanding.
That's an A+.
So you said who would, who could, who would, should. Look, I definitely feel Arsenal are going to the final with Inter Milan.
Inter Milan.
Yeah, I think Inter Milan can knock out Barcelona. I said it today.
Okay.
I stand by my words. I think Inter Milan are knocking out Barcelona in the semi-finals.
That's interesting. Guys, mark Jevon's words. Jevon's words will come haunt you if you don't mark them. Ashwyn, give it to us.
I mean, sadly, I'm not going to add any more texture or color because I'm going to paint in exactly the same shade as Jevon and tell you I do feel that Inter is a better team. When he said dark horse, he was absolutely right. They've got a solid structure. There is no answer for Yamal. Let's just get that out of the way. There's no answer from Yamal between yesterday to today, between 20 years ago to 20 years from now. There is no answer for Lamine Yamal.
Okay.
Now that we've put that aside, there's definitely an answer when it comes to team football. And Inter Milan is playing with a special kind of spirit because they've kind of been seen as non-contenders.
Yes.
But they got it done with Bayern in spite of Harry Kane's efforts. And I just think that Barcelona is kind of exhibiting an entitlement to a place that they haven't been as specifically that team, you know, and they're going to have to build their own heritage. And I think they're going to find out, especially when they play in Italy, that, hey, it can get a little sketchy when those Milan guys get going.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that I can definitely mention is if you look at the teams that all went through, Arsenal went through winning home and away. If you have a look at PSG struggled with Villa in both teams. Barca had a scare against Borussia Dortmund scoring a hat-trick. But I'm going to have to sit on the fence on this one. Viewers, I think Barcelona are going to win the Champions League. That's just me. I think me and you are going to talk about it as we get to the chat where we give out a few best clips.
Yeah.
But I think Barcelona are winning the treble.
Oh, please.
So they're winning La Liga, they're winning Copa del Rey, and they are winning the Champions League. But we definitely have to get Jevon's thoughts. We definitely have to get Ashwyn's thoughts on that. So for now, we'll go for a short break. We'll leave it at that. And then we'll give you some betting tips for the weekend. And then we'll be back with our discussion again.
Your life could change at any second, but you'll never know until you take the chance. With sports betting, number games, and online casino gambling, JSB is your best bet. Will you be Namibia's next instant millionaire? Place your bets easily online at jsbsports.bet or at any JSB location nationwide. We'll take you to the action anywhere, anytime. JSB, where the next instant millionaires come to play. Strictly no under 18s. JSB supports responsible gambling. Winners know when to stop.
So like I said, that chat, we're going to leave it for now, but I'm sticking to my point. I think Barcelona are winning the treble this season. You don't agree with that?
No ways, I don't agree with that. I mean, as you said earlier on, they struggled against Dortmund at the Signal at Iduna Park. the entitlement that they have. They do play great football.
Yeah.
There are talented players in the squad, but I do feel Inter do have the better team, as Ashwyn mentioned there. Look, if by any chance or any miracle Barcelona do go through to the final, it'll be fitting for Arsenal to win that Champions League against Barcelona. We all know the history there.
Yes.
You understand? So football is exciting. It's towards the tail end of the season. We look forward to what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen exactly, and that's the beauty of the game.
Okay, well, I hope in the final we have Arsenal and Barcelona, just for that history, you know, that both teams have. Thierry Henry moving from Arsenal going to Barcelona. That, I think, is going to be very exciting.
And Percy being sent off the last time they played in the final,
Also,
early minutes, that was drama. Was that a red card? We still don't know.
Until this day.
Almost a decade later, you know, so yeah, let's see.
Okay, well, Jevon, let's start off with our match of the week, I think. I think we need to start off there. Mamelodi Sundowns take on the Egypt Giants, Al Ali. Thoughts on this game? I'm sitting on the fence with this match.
Tough game. Pretoria, Mamelodi. It's the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League. Later on that evening, a lot of Pirates are hosting Pyramids. So it's history that can be made where you could possibly see Sundowns and Pirates in the CAF Champions League final. And how brilliant would that be for our Southern African neighbors? Massive game there. Get your bets in. It's free on Instagram or Facebook. You predict the score. You tag 3 friends, and then you just share the story on your on your profile. $1,000 in free bets, which you can use to make some real money.
So if you get the prediction correct and it's just you that got it correct, in the comments, you win yourself a $1,000 free bet. So get on there, get commenting. I'm going to say 1-1 full time. I'm not going to give more than that. So full time, I'm going to give it 1-1.
I'm taking Sundowns, I'm going to take it. We have Peter Shalulile there. You know, I mean, we have to back the boy. You know,
so what score?
2-0 to Sundowns.
2-0 to
taking
Sundowns.
it to Egypt, yeah.
It's tough one. But okay, like I said, Jevon always has his ways with how he does his things. Cool. Moving on to your best slip for the weekend. That's where the money is. So let's guide the punters in the right direction. Maybe they can come off the weekend with some money.
Yeah, you know you're going to spend some money on Easter weekend with those Easter eggs and hot cross buns. So try to make some back. Put some money away. $200 is enough. I think Manchester City away to Everton at Goodison. Decent. That's a decent game for those odds.
The odds are great.
Very great. I think City can definitely get those 3 points there. Aston Villa, Newcastle. Champions League positions. Newcastle currently 3rd. You know, if they win there, they go 1 point shy of Arsenal. And Arsenal are playing the following day against Ipswich. So Newcastle can't afford to let it slide there. Aston Villa neither. Aston Villa at home, Villa Park. As you said, they had a fantastic match, especially second half against PSG. What a team. And Unai Emery is doing an outstanding job there. So
Rashford looks great.
Exactly. And I think based on those factors, I think there's goals involved. So both teams can most certainly score there.
And then
Arsenal, as we said, playing the next day up against Ipswich. We have United at home against Wolves.
As we are
we have to take that pause. United could, I mean, at Old Trafford at this stage of the season, we need to get those points, you know. We can't go further down the log. So
we are 3 points from relegation, bro.
Exactly. So I'll back United. I think they're decent. Both Manchester sides this weekend.
Should come through. Okay, let's quickly just have a look at Jevon's bet slip once more before we do move on to mine, just to see how much you put down and how much you are getting paid for this one.
So as you see, 10 odds. Okay, lastly is the Liverpool match. Liverpool clinching the title this weekend against Leicester away. Very sad with Ruud van Nistelrooy being United coach there at Leicester. But anyways, so 10 odds, great. $200. You make 2,200. You make $2,000 profit. I mean, I think that's decent going into the Easter weekend or exiting the Easter weekend.
Okay, well, I won't be buying cross buns, so I'll be spending my money wisely. Hot cross buns. I won't be buying any hot cross buns. My money will be going here on my bet slip. I have a 5-fold with some interesting games, and I think I didn't have a look at yours prior to putting down mine, but mine looks something like this. So I'm going Manchester City. We both have 10 odds. Fun fact. I'll be going with City straight win. I think West Ham defeated Southampton. The odds look not too bad. 1.5. I can do with that. Brentford and Brighton. I went for both teams to score. I trust both teams will score. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. Crystal Palace got thrashed by Newcastle, eh?
You're disgustingly.
Sure. But I think both teams to score there will work for me. And then I also had to sit on the fence with the Aston Villa Newcastle game and just go for both teams to score because I don't know who wins it, but I'm siding towards Villa. But I can't ignore the form of Newcastle. So both teams to score is good enough. $100 gets you $1,167.
I think it's a beautiful bet slip. I like that bet slip. I think I might include Brentford and Brighton as well.
Yeah,
I like that. Both teams to score. I think Brighton are struggling a little bit, you know.
Yeah, but just both teams with just one goal.
Yeah, one goal. I think it's possible, highly possible. Yeah. So guys, please get your bets in jspsports.bet. Make sure that you're 18 or over or older, and then sign up, get your bets in, make some money.
Definitely. It's not an easy job signing up. Like I said, it's easy, quickly done on the phone, 2-3 minutes. You have your account. Make your first deposit. You get 100% bonus on your deposit. So if you put down $100, you get an extra $100 that you can use. If you do 500, you get an extra 500. That's a lot of money. Easter weekend, like Jevon said, people are going to be spending a lot of money. People are going to be buying those Easter chocolates, hiding the thingies. You know, so if you're going to be doing that, you definitely want to make a way to get some money back in your pocket. Well, before we do let Jevon leave, let's just have a look at the fixtures that are scheduled for the Champions League semi-finals. I'm very excited for this, bro.
We are spoiled. I would tell you
we
that.
We really are.
We are so spoiled. And, you know, I don't want to be too religious, but thank God for football. You know, I mean, Arsenal hosting PSG first. Yeah, that's an interesting time. And PSG are. You know, they're very full force attacking side. Yeah. But just the way Aston Villa handled them in that second half.
In the second leg. Oh. In the second half especially.
Especially in that second half. Like, they had no answers there. So Arsenal hosting them at the Emirates, you can imagine how the Londoners will be out there and supporting their side. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And then unfortunately, Barca hosting Inter at home first.
Oh,
so Inter
no.
And then we go back to Italy. So yeah, guys, we do offer outrights at the moment for all 4 sides to win the Champions League. Have a look on our website. I'm not sure about the odds right now, but they should be decent.
This is where, guys, take this note, write it down and make some money. Outright winner, Barcelona. So you just go for an outright winner. That's you saying Barcelona going to win the Champions League. Katuna doesn't agree with me. He's shaking his head. We'll hear his thoughts on that. But I'm saying, put some money on Barcelona to win the Champions League. We'll come back to this day and I'll remind all of you. But now, who are you saying is winning the Champions League?
Inter Milan.
Worse, even worse.
I'll go with Inter Milan. Forza Inter. I'll go with Lautaro Martinez winning the Ballon d'Or afterwards.
Yeah.
Strong.
That's words from a brave man. Well, viewers, there you have it from Jevon Wilson. And he says, Inter are going to win the Champions League and Ballon d'Or is going to be won by Lautaro Martinez. But like I said, this man always knows his way around things. We are so blessed to have a lot of football. We are all excited for an exciting weekend with loads of sports, local, international. We have all of it. But from us, we'll be seeing you guys next week, same time, same place.
Your life could change at any second, but you'll never know until you take the chance. With sports betting, number games, and online casino gambling, JSB is your best bet. Will you be Namibia's next instant millionaire? Place your bets easily online at jsbsports.bet or at any JSB location nationwide. We'll take you to the action anywhere, anytime. JSB, where the next instant millionaires come to play. Strictly no under 18s. JSB supports responsible gambling. Winners know when to stop.
You know, I will admit it was touch and go there for a little bit. Nobody was actually sure whether or not the stadium would be ready on time to host this World Athletics event, you know, because of the last minute track renovations that were happening as well as the heavy rains. However, the FNB Botswana Golden Grand Prix defied the odds to deliver a world-class event at the National Stadium right here in Gaborone this past Saturday. Of course, the star of the show was Botswana's own Litsile Tebogo, who, you know, thrilled home fans by winning the 200-meter race in 19.87 seconds. And earlier before that, he had won the 200-meter race in second place with 9.91 seconds behind Kenya's Ferdinand Omanyala. some of the show stars or some of the impressive athletes were USA's Delilah Muhammad as well as Nigeria's Ese Brume. Now, we reported right here on Africa Good Morning last week that the Minister of Sports and Arts actually did put his neck out on the line to assure members of the public that indeed Botswana would be ready to host this World Athletics event by D-Day, which was on Saturday, and indeed he made sure that everything came together nicely. The Botswana National Sports Commission did work very hard with all relevant stakeholders. They did work overnight. There was no sleep. A Chinese company was also engaged to finish off the track, and I think by Friday evening everything was on point, even though there were some complaints or some concerns by some of the stars that the track was still a little bit wet. However, the show did go on and it was a massive success. Athletics and sporting events do bring Botswana together, in a very patriotic mood. So after that, the Botswana National Sports Commission did, host a little farewell dinner for some of the people who were involved in bringing together this event as they did, especially the Chinese. The minister did affirm that it means that Botswana is ready to host major athletics competitions ahead of the 2026 World Athletics Relays, which will be happening next year, coinciding with Botswana's 60th anniversary. So we're all looking forward to that.
Okay, viewers, as you can see, we are here at the braai corner and things are sizzling up here. Our lambs are almost ready. And of course, my braaier here, my right-hand man here by the braai station, has been taking control here. How is it going here? Because I left you in control. I trust you here.
Perfectly well. So we're going to have good meat today.
Yes, you heard it from him himself. Now, yeah. Brian asked 2 questions on the other side that I'm going to need you to answer. Number 1 is, do you cut your own hair?
Yes, I do.
Would you ever trust another barber to cut your hair?
Of course. I do. Sometimes I have a barber as well. Not only that
barber that has a barber.
Yeah, no. Every doctor has a doctor.
Okay, true. Okay.
There are times I cut myself. Only when I have time.
When you have time?
Only when I have time.
Okay, because I see with nail techs now, they only do one side of their own hand. They never do the full thing, but you can't just do one side of your head. So the next question is, who do you think is going to win?
The Champions League?
Yes.
Obviously, Gunners.
I don't think Brian agrees with that.
I know Brian doesn't agree. He's a Man U fan. Obviously, he would always disagree, him and Jevon. So we are definitely taking against, I think, Inter. I think we're going to play against Inter in the final, because Barcelona, when it comes to defending, it will be a bit hard for them when it comes to the Lautaro Martinez and the Thuram them. And for scoring, they can score, but Inter Milan has the better defense. So it's a very tricky one actually between Barca and Inter Milan.
But I guess we'll have to see what happens. Because all 3 of you seem to have different opinions on who's going to win this. So we'll just have to sit tight and see what happens. So speaking of sports, we know you're a barber, you have the passion to cut hair. And of course, for a career like this, you need to have a passion for people as well.
Of course.
But do you yourself, do you like sports? Have you played sports? Do you still play sports?
Beautiful question. I'm a sport fan.
But you don't play yourself?
I do.
Do you? What sports do you play?
I play soccer as well. I was a goalkeeper once upon a time. I still do play. I play social league now.
Okay.
Since there's no more time for real football. So yeah, I'm a big soccer player.
What is your definition of real football?
People practice every day.
Okay.
I don't have that time to be in the morning. I'm going to practice.
Dedicate your whole life to practicing.
I can't. I think that ship has sailed already. So.
But you're content with what you're doing now. I mean, you're doing what you love, which is more than one can ask for. You know?
True.
So I just want to ask, currently, it's like you said, it's a one-man show. But obviously, when you put up your remote station, your shop where people can go to you, you will obviously employ more people. Like, what is the vision? I want to see when you look at the future for your operation, what is the vision that you have in your head? That picture that you see.
It's very scary.
If
Sometimes
it's
when I
not
think of
scary,
it,
it's not worth it.
sometimes when I think of it, I'm like, wow, I'm really going to do this? I am going to do this. So I would like my dream is to have a barber shop in every town in Namibia. That's my dream. And then, because with the help of my current clients, they will be my investors, definitely.
That's how you start.
Yeah.
So they trust you, they know you.
Very much. Yeah, so I think with the help of cutting celebrities and football players, it also helps for the name to grow.
Exactly.
So any person maybe from Oshakati there once, like, oh no, this go to your barber. I think I might come to Oshakati as well. So that kind of thing, it helps a lot when it comes to the celebrities.
You're mentioning celebrities more than once here, so I need to know, what celebrities do you see on, not just once, but what celebrities keep on coming back? Not to put them on the spot, but who are they, if you are allowed to name drop in this moment?
Definitely going to name drop, because they are on my Instagram as well.
Okay, who are they, for us who don't know?
Our star boy, Luis Munana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our Netflix dude.
Yep.
We see you.
And I think almost the music industry, I have KP Illust, Script, I have Waters. A lot. Even I've also cut South
a lot
African.
of big names here, and especially in the music industry in Namibia.
Yeah. Even South Africans as well when they come this side. I've done with is it Black Diamond? The two
Black
guys?
Diamond?
Yeah, not Black Diamond, the two guys?
Yes. I think it is them, yes.
Yeah, the two guys, yeah.
Okay. So there's really potential to grow if you're having like beyond the Namibian borders, people are already recognizing, of course, your passion and your talent for this. But I think the sizzling and these, they smell and look delicious. Brian and Ashwyn on the other side probably can't wait to just dig in. So while we prep this for Brian and them, guys, if you want to try this recipe out at home, you know where to get it. Just text #InTheMix to our chatbot and you can try it out for yourself. If it's not on the screen, the team will put it on for you. And you can try it. Let us know on our social media if it worked out as good for you. But let's get ready. Brian and them are waiting for us.
I hope they are hungry.
Adventure doesn't announce itself. It starts with a feeling. It waits quietly, ready for those who seek it. From the moment you start, the journey becomes part of the story. It's not just about the destination. It's the rhythm of the road, the pull of the unknown. Some journeys take you beyond what's visible, toward the promise of something greater. And then it appears. The reason you came. The reason you return. The Jetour dashing. Drive your future.
I can definitely say it looks good in the kitchen. We have people sorting us out there, and before they bring us the food, Ashwyn, please run us through the fixtures of this weekend.
Absolutely. Let's have a look. Brentford's taking on Brighton Hove Albion, Crystal Palace and AFC Bournemouth, Everton, Manchester City, West Ham and Southampton, Aston Villa taking on Newcastle. That Villa and Newcastle game, man, I'm looking forward to that. Then La Liga, Rayo Vallecano versus Valencia, Barcelona versus Celta. We know Barcelona will handle that. Mallorca versus Leganes. That is at 6:30, and Las Palmas versus Atletico. All right, Bundesliga, Heidenheim versus Bayern Munich, SC Freiburg versus Hoffenheim, Mainz 05 versus Wolfsburg, Werder Bremen versus VfL Bochum, and RP Leipzig versus Holstein Kiel, and Union Berlin versus Stuttgart.
Okay, well, those are our games. And then on Sunday, we have big games as well. London teams are in action. We have Arsenal at 3 o'clock against Ipswich, Chelsea take on Fulham, and then we have Manchester United who play against Wolves, and Liverpool could possibly win the Premier League against Leicester City. Thoughts on this weekend's games? Which one will you be watching, Jevon?
Definitely, as Ashwyn mentioned there, the Aston Villa, Newcastle's, what a delicious fixture that is. Besides that, the Sunday fixture, look, if it all goes in Liverpool's favour, they could win the title. They can clinch it this weekend and possibly have a guard of honour against Spurs and against Arsenal.
I can live with the Spurs part.
So, yeah, and obviously also mentioning, as we had our match of the week on the screen earlier on, massive CAF Champions League semi-final games between Mamelodi Sundowns and Al Ahly, the giants of African football, and then later on Orlando Pirates hosting Pyramids in Soweto.
Two Manchester United fans, not one of them talked about the Manchester United game because they're going to lose to Wolves and the Zimbabwean Munets is going to score, as you were.
You know, I'm not, with United, we know we gave up a long time ago, I think. But for now, guys, we don't have much time. I think we only have maybe 2-3 minutes to close off. So if Patricia and Katuna could bring us those lamb chops, ne? I think that would be very nice of them, because I now am also getting those growls.
Yeah. By the way, while these lamb chops are coming, I just want to address some of your predictions. Arsenal's definitely winning the Champions League because there isn't a single team that you would have expected to do what we did. Let's just be honest.
True.
2 sides over Madrid. We know Barcelona's path has not been as difficult, and we know that we have the best defense in the world. So you do that what you can, and you're free to tell me which of the teams in the semi-finals have an answer for Saka, Bukayo Ayoyinka Saka. And the question is, the answer is...
See, this is them winning a quarterfinal. Imagine them winning the Champions League.
We won't sleep, bro.
Imagine it.
Okay.
But anyways.
Patricia, Katuna, can you please just advise us on what you guys have prepared for us? These things are so sizzling hot. I like that. And I'm going to dip mine because when it comes to sauces or dipping stuff in stuff, Patricia always has like the nga recipes, I think. I feel, personally. So yeah.
She will explain.
Yes. Okay, he was the main Brian in this one, so I trust him that he really gave it his all. Okay, if Brian likes it, then that's a good sign, Jevon. Honest opinion.
We tried.
So the dressing is a sweet mint dressing. Of course, you can never go wrong with Uncle Google. He always gives you the best recipes.
What a lovely, refreshing dressing. Well done, Katuna.
Katuna, I would just like to say, before I taste, I already trust you because you're an Arsenal man. I expect this to go very well. Everything you've done so far has been very wise. and I love your work.
And of course, we've paired it with, first time also trying it out, a mushroom salad.
Okay,
so if you love mushrooms,
please
try the mushroom salad as well.
Patricia doesn't eat mushrooms, by the way.
Neither do I.
But I know you like it. If Jevon can try it, then I'll try it as well.
Okay, cool. That means we're all going to be trying some of the mushrooms. Well, viewers, that's all the time that we do have for you. The lamb chops are great. I have to thank you for that one again. And then, viewers, please enjoy your Easter. Drive safe if you are traveling out of your towns or wherever you are. Please be safe on those roads. But from the loving team, Arsenal supporters, United supporters, Patricia, we don't know yet. We'll find out.
Should I tell you guys?
Okay, yeah,
I know.
I don't think I'll be surprised.
He knows.
Patricia's probably winning the league this weekend.
Arsenal.
Liverpool.
Okay, well, just Liverpool viewers, from us, it's goodbye and have a happy Easter.